Welcome back to our video review series. This is pretty fun. On our last episode, we said at the end, if somebody wants to send us their video to review, we'd be happy to do it. This is really fun for us. And so Martin sent us this video of him rowing the wind at 7.2 feet. And Aaron and I,
7.2 feet, is that high?
It's pretty high. Yeah. I think that most people would agree that anything above 6.5 starts getting hard. And 9 is typically the highest that people run it. And it's a fun run. Lots of surfing. I mean,
these guys he's surfed once, and then it looks like the cat's surfing to his right now.
Yeah, the cat's surfing on purpose. Yep. This is a decent flow for the wind, and certainly dangerous because if you swim, you could swim a long ways, and it's definitely cold out there. This is a cold weather time. This is the rapid just above initiation, the first rapid. And here we are kind of heading into initiation. And so just the one thing I want to point out is just watching Martin's strokes here. We're watching him row, which is pretty cool. It just feels like really solid, comfortable strokes. What do you think, Aaron?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I like the way he rows. It's real smooth. And he doesn't look like he's like some people look like they're rowing really, really hard and just trying to like muscle it. He looks like he's just trying to, okay, I'm just going to row here, pull back a little bit, go over to here, go here, just taking his time. Kind of the go slow to go fast, the Bobby Deary,
Yeah. It's pretty apparent he's solid on the oars. How do you feel about the boat spacing right here? The boat in front of him is the lead boat. How do you feel about the boat spacing?
If I'm Martin, I feel great about it. If I'm the dude in the lead boat, I don't feel very good about it.
You want that. If you're in the lead, you want the second person pretty close so they can help you if you have a problem, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So but he must feel pretty comfortable in front. And just for some background, this is Martin's first time running the wind. He's run it 5 times before this, but it's his first time running it above 6 feet. And so he hasn't seen high water yet. And so, he's second, which I would question. I would maybe if I'm new to this flow, I probably would have gone back further in the boat order.
How many boats are there? 3 or 4?
I think there's 4. Maybe we'll figure it out here in a minute. But I think a lot of what I think about with rowing is, boat order, boat spacing, who's placed where in case there's a problem.
He seems to really like to back ferry. Like he's back ferrying everything.
Yeah.
Like upstream, pulling back.
I'm kind of the same though, Aaron. I feel like here too, like I want to take my time. Would you be pushing a lot more?
I wouldn't back ferry everything. I think I would just back and pull, use both instead of turning and pivoting. Pivot back, pivot back, pivot back. I think it's a back ferry, and I think he can make it down the whole way like that. And maybe he can do that too. He just doesn't need to. But I think it's good to be able to go both and just like keep your boat pointed in one direction towards one shore and move backwards and forwards instead of every time pivoting it. And then at high water, I kind of like having a little downstream momentum, like to be just like in general pushing down a little bit and going faster than the river versus going slower than the river.
So this is the classic pushing versus pulling thoughts. And I think that he does pull a lot, which is kind of my take on rapids, but I agree with you. Sometimes you have to get aggressive. And so it's just a classic pulling versus pushing.
Yeah, totally.
Ahead of us.
It's working for him. He does it really well too. I'm not trying to say, just like from my nose, it's like he's backing. And then, and that's another thing too, is like maybe they started up closer spacing, but the guy up front is pushing a little bit. And if the person in front of you is pushing a little bit and you're always backing, this is one of the problems if you can't switch techniques. It's hard to maintain your boat position if someone is approaching it a little differently.
So that's the thing I think a lot about, if you're a class 4 boater and you can run the class 4 rapid, cool. But you're not a class 4 rapid if you can do it in a way that maintains proper boat spacing. So maybe you have to push to keep up with the front boat, or maybe you have to pull to create spacing. So being able to run the rapid by either pushing or pulling is the true skill of a class 4 boater, because you have to adjust your boat spacing mid-rapid. Yeah. It's a hard one to explain. This is a good video for it. So anyway, that boat in front, that's the lead boat, is about to flip.
Oh yeah, look at it. Oh boy. Oh!
That is awesome video. That is super awesome video. So this is amazing. And here, I know, having run the wind a lot of high water a lot, you have to get right. of where he is. Like the run is to the right of that cat boat. So from here, if you had to get right, Aaron, would you push right or would you pull right? Would you back ferry or turn the boat and push?
I would probably back ferry just because that wave right there, it's about to hit
Mm-hmm.
him.
Yep.
It's trying to turn into that and get across. If I were like a boat up above, I might push and try to hit into that, pushing forward and pop over the top of that. If I were like a boat or boat and a half back upstream, but where I am now, you're gonna get your bow is gonna get swung to left shore anyway. So you might as well go to
Yep.
the left shore and then you can pull across and use your strength to pull.
Yeah. So right now, lots go. I agree. Like, I think that if you have time to build momentum and power through that by pushing, cool. At this point, the move is to turn that boat and pull, get right. If you know to go right, you also have a swimmer down there. The lead boat is swimming, which is super scary because that lead boat has no safety downstream.
And Zach looking downstream, it's white water down around the corner. And
It's
so
whitewater for a ways.
And luckily we know everyone's okay on this trip. So luckily we
Yeah.
know nothing happened. So we can be like, oh dude, that's an epic flip. But like, yeah, in the moment at that point, you're gonna be like, oh no.
I would go, if I'm Martin, to immediate, like 100% conservative. I have to help somebody downstream. Let me get to this rapid the safest way possible, and then go
Zach,
down
if
and
you're
help them.
back bearing, then the whole time you're back bearing, they're getting farther and farther away from you.
I get that, but like I want it. My first priority is like getting myself through safely.
Totally.
So in here, he starts he points to the right here, and I think he tries to push right, but isn't making the push.
It looks like he's just running.
Look, he's pushing right.
Now he's pushing right. Now he's pushing.
Isn't making it because it's hard to do. And I know there's a big hole here when I watch this video. This is the worst feeling right here. When you go into something like this, you're like, yeah, this is going to be bad. And it is. So he takes a swim. Now, the really crazy thing is the first two boats have swimmers, and there's no safety for two swimmers downstream. The remarkable thing is that the boat eddies out. Like you couldn't catch the eddy if you tried. And
so Zach, what's your feeling about, like, it's hard to stay in a boat when it hits a hole, but what's your feeling about, like, I kind of have a mentality, like for myself, like if the boat is upright, I need to find a way to stay in it. And I'm not saying it always happens, but having that mentality makes a big difference. And I feel like, and like that's a hard one to stay in. And I think the tractor seats are actually harder to stay in than like the slant board where you can wrap your leg underneath it. Or, if you're paddle boating or something like that. But I feel like this happens a lot. The boat, you think it's going to flip or something, and it ends up staying upright.
Well, it happens so quick that it's so hard to react to what's going to happen. So, I mean, I don't know.
And then the other part I'm going to say is that with the locks, it's a lot harder to stay in a boat.
Yeah.
Can we go back and watch it again?
Yeah, I actually watched it again last night. The same thing to see. He didn't hold on to the oars.
Yeah, but even if he did hold on to the oar, it wouldn't. It would have slid down. And he would have fallen out.
No, with pins and clips, the oar stays in, so you can use it for stability.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you look at, but he has those oar tether things. I think those are the bungee oar tethers.
No, that looks like those are just the normal ones.
They're not. Those are the bungee oar tethers.
What?
I'm pretty confident. Somebody Martin, if you can comment later. I'm pretty sure those bungee oar tethers the Mad Catter makes hold them in like a pin and clip kind of would.
But they fell out. Those are just regular ones.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, look, those are just regular ones.
See how the oar stayed in place? He just let go of it. Then it popped off. Because it came out of the sleeve.
I think those are just regular. I think those are regular ones.
All right, disagree to disagree.
Okay. Sometime we'll have to buy the other a beer at some point. When we find out that Martin can let us know.
I love this eddy catch. This is amazing. And that's my friend Mike over there on the right. He knows the line. He takes the conservative line. And now in his mind, he's like, I have two swimmers downstream. We're going to see him pass and say hi to Martin and then go chase down the first one, which is scary for him. Now he's exposed. He's now boating by himself. And if he flips, he has zero safety. So it's a really bad scene.
And typically, say the third person's usually your weakest, and maybe it's not a case, but you put your weakest boater usually third.
So it looks like it's just the three of them. I don't see any boats behind them.
Yeah.
And my guess, looking from this, because the first boat obviously didn't know where they were going, and I know that Mike knows where he's going. So it looks like they put their strongest
nice
boater in the front. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah, that was nice. Oh yeah, just wait for my boat to come down, hop back in. Once again, dude, he's super mellow. I like how he's just like, all right, get my oar back in there. Okay. Doesn't look like he's rushing, just like, once again, going slow to go fast. Oh yeah, I got one was enough. Nice. Very mellow.
This
and
is
he's,
somebody.
And the other thing I would say, he's got good tethers on his oars, so he didn't lose his oars. Like
those aren't tethers. Those are the rubber band things.
No, they're just tethers with a little clip. They're the little clips.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I see the clips now. I owe you a beer. If they were the Mad Catter things, they'd stay on better.
Yeah, and then it might have helped him stay in the boat if he held on to the oars. Maybe he would have tried to hold them. Nice eddy catch too. Great job.
Yeah, at this point, you have your lead boater downstream by himself swimming out of sight. Yeah, that is terrifying to me.
And then they're like, "Oh, do we catch an eddy?" Oh,
yeah. I'm all about them looking out for themselves. Smart move, but that lead boat that went out in the front and took the wrong line certainly exposed themselves. So this is the rapid, the next rapid that's just above the entrance to Ramshorn. It's a pretty legitimate rapid.
Yeah. One other thing I wanted to say too is he's properly dressed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's dressed to swim today. And then you look at his rig. He doesn't have a lot of extra stuff. Like when he fell in, there wasn't stuff to get him hung up on. Really clean rig, clean lines. It looks good. He even brings 2 spare oars.
Yeah.
What is this guy?
This line through here is perfect. I'm stoked on this pulling right now too. Like pulling here, I think is the right move. Missed that hole. So this is the rapid above Ramshorn. Takes kind of a big hit there. This is the rapid above Ramshorn. And then there's almost no separation between Ramshorn. Like this is the pool above Ramshorn.
So they still haven't caught up to that other boat, right?
And now they're in Ramshorn. Now they're entering the longest, biggest rapid of the run.
And the other guy, they haven't found the other guy yet.
No, and if he's still, if he's swimming this, if I was in this boat right now and I haven't seen him yet, I would be super nervous. Hopefully the guy's a great cat boater and could swim back to his boat and self-rescue, but it's kind of terrifying. And the other thing too is at this point, Martin, when I think about this, Martin is running this long, hard rapid. He's never seen it this flow with no beta. Like you really can't see. Ideally, somebody who knows the lines at this level is in front of you.
Well, isn't that cat? The cat is in front of him. That blue cat somewhere out there. Right?
It's pretty far though. Like he's having to he's guessing on his lines.
He really has. He has nice lines too. He has a good feel, and the way he's good at swinging his boat into spots, and like that right there. That's great. I really the one thing. Oh, that's nice.
What's that, Aaron?
I'm not sure. Shipping his oars. I'd say that's the one thing that I like up above when he went over that drop.
Like right there.
Like right there. Yeah.
Like again, I would have shipped. I think I would have shipped my oars.
Because he was rowing early with just one oar, and he can do it, and just like ship your oar early and just.
Yeah. So as you get right now, ship the oar because you know you're gonna hit that wall. Right now you have the oar at the back, and it takes time to get it back to be usable again.
Yeah.
So this is a tough move right there.
Look, he did. Did he self-rescue? The boat's upright and he's in it.
Yep, and he's in the eddy. This is the eddy of the final drop. I don't know. But good thing he did. It's a nice thing. That's why you need to have that skill. Like if your lead boat doesn't have that skill, it's trouble.
Well, at this point, everyone really needs to have that skill, right?
Yeah, I want to go back to this Ramshorn move because I think a lot of people are like, I always push. This is a move you can't push. And maybe you can, but you need to really drop momentum here because you have to avoid from going to the right. He has to get back left, so he has to just keep pulling. He gets a bit too far left, but I think
there's that Oregon.
To go through that chute and get left, you have to dump momentum by pulling.
It's a big hit.
It's a big hit.
Woo!
Yeah. This is pretty legit in a raft. I've never rafted this high. I've only taken cat boat this high. It's a pretty challenging run in a raft.
Well, he's got a Moravia, Zach. Is that right?
It's a 14-foot Moravia, but that's a cataract frame inside. He's put his cat frame inside the raft.
Mm.
So he's obviously has a cat boat, but chose to take the raft for some reason.
Does he have flip bags on the side of his boat? Is that what I see every
Yep.
once in a while?
Yep.
Yeah, right
The
there.
little red, the red.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
Me neither.
I mean, I'd rather use a flip line in my PFD or something, but
yeah, I just feel like it's opportunity. You hit a rock and the bag can get broken open, then you got a loose line in the river.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just
Nice
solid
line.
road
Yeah,
here.
yeah, really great. Yeah.
Again, I'm not super stoked on the spacing. I mean, they could be tighter.
But he's slowing down the whole time. That's the thing, and it's just it's so continuous, and that's what makes it hard. The other thing I'll say is I think he could not pull upstream so much, and then it would be better if he got more perpendicular to the current a little more. He would be slowing down, so then he would use less strokes.
Yeah, I like how much he pulls. Maybe I'm a puller. I push a lot too, but I'm fine with it. It's more work, but it's really conservative.
No, I don't mind the pulling. I'm just saying if you get more perpendicular to the current, it takes less strokes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So this rapid.
I mean, like I say, it works really well for him. He has great lines.
Yep.
If I were him, I wouldn't change any. Yeah, it works well.
So this is balls to the wall right, and this one's pretty well known as Whoa, they're taking a far left line. That's cool. There is a really cool left line here at high water. The right side causes problems. So this is a really conservative line. Again, shipping the oars, right? Same thing. You could have back here. I went really far back, but.
And just to be clear, when we're talking about shipping, we're talking about blade forward shipping.
Yeah. So he's doing a great job of setting everything up, taking his time, totally. Going slow, trying to get I'm all about getting your position, angle, momentum at the right spot. And then getting set up really early and right here shipping, putting your blades forward so you don't deal with that mess, and you can put your blades in the water immediately. Mm-hmm. But luckily, though, he's able to get over those rocks with his blades. This is a tricky little move right here. That rock to the left of him didn't just used to be there.
Oh
yeah. Yeah, so it makes this last drop a little harder. But that right in front of him, that's Flip City. So if you did the normal line and went in there, it's a high chance of flipping. And there's another.
Yeah, I like his angle there a little bit, like pulling from that way at that angle. I like that angle.
Look at that hole.
And now, nice pushing. Ooh, nice. So Zach, when you rig your spare oars, do you rig them blade forward or blade backwards?
I go blade forward, just because I don't know. I think aesthetically it looks cooler, and also when I pull my oar out, I want the blade in the front.
So I have it for that reason. I have blade forward. I have had where my blade, we hit a big hole one time, and the blade got caught so much current it just ripped and snapped the front little cam strap that was holding my oar on.
So when you're in big water like this, it might make sense to have the blade back because then the water isn't hitting it up front.
Yeah. Like we went into a big feature, and then all of a sudden I was like, what happened? And sure enough, it just ripped my cam strap. Now the cam strap was old and crappy, but yeah, I like that angle.
There's balls to the wall left. There's a pretty big hole here at the bottom.
Whoa.
Yeah. This catches a lot of people by surprise.
Well, I mean, he looks really secure running the rapid. Like there's certain people you'd be like, oh, would I want to go out with him if this slows? I don't know. Like I would totally go out with him. He's solid. He's having great runs.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and so now we're heading into a rapid we call Morning Wood. There used to be a piece of wood in there. The rapids at the end take sort of a sexual nature, like that. After Morning Wood is Climax, and there used to be a piece of wood right there. That's why we called it that. And then the next rapid, a little flat water here when you hit Climax, which is just a nice vertical drop that could cause problems, but if you know where to go, it's pretty straightforward. But I mean, I think that, in looking at his rowing, it's a similar style that I have, and I'm pretty stoked on his rowing. I think I have some concerns about boat spacing and boat order and a lead boater flipping by taking the wrong line in initiation to me is not good. That lead boater shouldn't flip in the first rapid. I mean, he said that lead boater was setting the line for the second boater who's new to that level, right? So that's what caused 2 flips.
Yeah, but I will say a couple things on that. First of all, like the lead boat will flip at times, and
Yeah.
and we've had this conversation before. I think going number 2 is like sometimes it's harder than going number 1. Because you got to ride right behind them, and you should be right next to them in case something happens. And that's challenging. You got to be reading water on the other side of the raft a lot of time, the other side of the downstream raft, looking downstream with them. You don't get a good view of it. You got to be adjusting to what they're doing while they're just doing their thing up front. You really want particular high water. You want a strong person going second.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and it could be a complete accident, and accidents happen. I just, when I'm at put in that day, I'm like, hey, who's seen this run at this level? Who knows the lines? And that person goes first. Who's strong? Who knows the lines? And that person is setting very conservative lines because they don't have safety, and they're showing people the way down. They're showing them those lines. So that first person being, the most experienced or at that level, I think is huge.
Well, I agree, Zach. I also think you really want to be seeing the same thing about the second person.
Yeah, yeah. And the third person, because the third person has a safety gear.
Yeah, usually. Yeah, so. Whatever. After the third person doesn't matter as much. The first 2 really matter. Because if the first person has a problem, the second person's there to help them. And the first person has a problem, the second person's taking over and knows the lines.
So you're saying the most experienced first, the second most experienced second, and the least experienced third. Yeah. What if it's a group of 10? What if it's a group of 10 though?
First 2. At high water,
first two. Yep. I agree.
And then maybe and then maybe at the end, or maybe spread them out like first 2, weak person, strong person, weak person, something like that. So they're mix. You don't have a bunch of weak people in a row following each other, which that gets messy too.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, this has been fun, Aaron. Thanks for joining me. I think here's another video he has that we can maybe review later. But I just want to say, like, we enjoy doing this. It's fun to commentate. We could be totally wrong. There's no official way to do things. We don't want you all to think that we're telling people how to boat or what's good and what's bad. We're just giving you guys our opinions based on our experience. And I think Aaron and I both think that we have a lot of experience, so we're comfortable sharing our thoughts. But use our opinions at your own risk. If you trust us, please listen to us. If you think we're morons, you might have good reason to think that, and we're fine with that.
Yeah, and let us know why we're morons. I will say we want to get better too. So you love feedback, and if you have some thoughts about what we're saying, you're like, hey, why are we saying this or that, or you question it, let us know. I mean, there's definitely a lot of ways to run a river, and clearly Zach and I don't agree on every little detail. And so hopefully we're just giving different ideas so you guys can increase your bag of tricks and have more ways to approach rapids and hopefully run rivers more safely.
Yep. Well, cool. Thanks again, Aaron.
Yeah, thank you, Zach. This is fun.